It is a very interesting moment right now, as I'm sure everyone is seeing. The company that's on everyone's mind when it comes to how DEI pullback and the pressure to do so is affecting brands is Target. So I'll start there. And I think what we're seeing is a hesitancy to do what's always worked, to celebrate Pride Month, to celebrate Black History Month, to consistently advocate for diversity, equity, inclusion across every level of a brand's identity. It's something that is being, I think, sort of pressured against by what I call a loud minority of voices. At the cross purposes of the impact to the wider community of people across the United States and the globe. And it's a really challenging thing for brands because at the end of the day, we know we live in an increasingly multicultural world, and you just can't afford to alienate any of your audiences, which means it makes more sense to be inclusive, does it not?
Lola, how do corporations navigate this environment? Of course, there's different hurdles and obstacles that they may face when it comes to continuing the push for diversity, equity, inclusion. But what do you do in this moment as a corporation when there's many things at play right now?
Yeah, I mean, and it's why I called my book Responsible Marketing. It's very simple. You behave responsibly. And what that means is that you always look out for three things: the social impact you have on all of your stakeholders, communities, customers, employees, et cetera. You look out for your brand's reputation, and you look out for your commercial impact. And your actions need to have positive effects on those three things for them to be valid, right? So that is where telling a brand that they should pull back from anything related to DEI doesn't make sense on any of those three levers, especially the third when we think about commercial impact. That's what companies exist for. So right now, what companies should be doing is making rational decisions based on what it looks like to be responsible in their environment, to their customers, to their employees, to their stakeholders, to their communities. And if that means continuing to operate their DEI initiatives, like a brand like Costco is doing, like brands like Apple are doing, then it means doing that with strength.
So, Lola, the current administration clearly scrutinizing corporate DEI programs. How are these companies? I mean, do they want to go up against the U.S. government? I mean, how do they
Yeah,
react
no, nobody
responsibly?
does. Nobody wants to go up against the US government, but what the United States was formed on was a separation of private enterprise and sort of the importance of state guidance and federal guidance. And so companies do have a right to go up against the U.S. government. That doesn't mean they want to. But I think companies are more interested in their long-term commercial success than they are in appeasing the president of the United States and the current administration. So although nobody wants to be in this scenario, it is unfortunately the scenario that companies are being put in. And the lesser of two evils is to choose your long-term future success as a brand, as a company.
And we do see a lot of corporations who, those that are actually continuing some of these initiatives, they're renaming it. What does that
Yeah.
mean in general in terms of the push for diversity, equity, and inclusion? Does it at all diminish the celebratory aspect of it?
I think it does. I think the question I like to pose to brand leaders and to corporate executives is, if you're moving away from words like diversity, equity, and inclusion, what does that mean you're moving toward? You can't sort of have it both ways. You can't decide to stop using a word like diversity in the United States of America and expect that people are going to see that as you still sort of celebrating it or championing it in private. That's not really how it works. We know that when we have diverse environments in companies, when we have diverse employee teams, our companies do better. That's proven in countless studies, right? We know that when there's equity, everybody has a chance to succeed. We know that when there's inclusion, everybody is included in creating economic success and long-term generational wealth for themselves. And those are the principles that the United States of America stands by. So again, if we're going to be true to our long-term core values, we cannot afford to stop using words like diversity, equity, inclusion. It's akin to saying that in the United States of America, we're going to stop using a word like freedom. It would never happen, and this should not be happening.
So what are you recommending the companies do to navigate their marketing message in this environment?
I'm recommending that they stay strong. If what you said last year worked for you, from a commercial standpoint, from a reputation standpoint, and from a social impact standpoint, then you should be saying it again this year. If there are things that you need to tweak in order to better resonate with your customers and your audiences, then do that. But don't make decisions from a place of fear. Make decisions from a place of fact. Don't make decisions from a place of emotion. Make decisions from a place of rationality. And I mean, I went to NYU Stern right here in the city. That's what anybody at any business school will tell you. And that's what I'm telling corporate leaders today. Sometimes we have to have conviction rather than coming from a place of fear.